Dobro Uthro, Divine Pisces 222. Okay, I'm doing this in black and white because it's like 6:30 in the morning. There's like no light. And for some reason, the black and white makes it look brighter. I don't know why. so, so yeah, I'm gonna do an energy check-in for Twin Flame today. I'm gonna try to make this quick because I've got to get downstairs before my husband leaves. Alright, so... Alright, so first card out today is Taurus. So, yeah, I'm still getting this whole stubborn vibe, from Divine Masculine, yes, actually some from Divine Feminine too. I know we kind of talked about expectations, a little bit, and stepping away and that sort of thing. It's okay to step away. Just make sure you're stepping away for the right reason. Like, you're not stepping away out of ego, right? You're not stepping away just to get... And it's actually interesting because, yeah, Charlotte, Happy Twins 1111, said this yesterday, and I've said this before too. Like, if you're not communicating, if you're not engaging, if you're stepping away, make sure you're doing it because it's, you know, you're being guided to. It's not because you're being stubborn just to get a reaction, right? You're not doing it out of ego, right? And I've said this before, so I find that interesting that this came up, but I do feel that there's definitely some stubbornness on both sides here. It's almost like, okay, well, if you do this, I'm going to do this. And just make sure you're not doing it that way, guys. I mean, I know it sometimes feels like a giant game of chess, but you don't want to look at it that way, right? Because the whole point is to find your inner balance, find your inner peace, you know. Try not to get so caught up in the back and forth. Does that make sense? I know the hot and cold element is definitely a thing, and it goes back and forth a lot, but try not to get caught up in that. Try to focus on yourself, right? Focus on your own healing, focus on your journey, focus on, you know, messages, signs, and everything that you're getting from Source, and learning to interpret them correctly, okay? And searching, I guess, for your own inner peace, which comes from within. It doesn't come from anything else, right? So, so watch that ego, definitely. I do feel there's a lot of emotion today, a lot of emotion kind of in the ether, so to speak. So I guess, you know, I sense a feeling of purging still. There's definitely a lot of purging going on right now. So Divine Feminine, if you're feeling this, if you're feeling like you're needing to, if you're feeling like you're needing to release something, go ahead and do it. Because I feel like a lot of Divine Feminines here lately, it's like they have a need to purge, but they're not actually purging fully. It's like getting half done, or they'll purge and then, you know, nothing happens. Just saw 333. Wow. They'll purge and then they didn't purge all the way, so it like comes back to the surface, that sort of thing. So I feel like that's kind of happening here. It's like almost like you're afraid to purge it all the way. Okay, I don't know if there's like a really intense trigger that's happening again, or if this is the same one. So I feel like some intense triggers happening with Divine Feminine, Divine Masculine, causing them to have to purge. And again, this is like the 4th time this has come up. So Cancer, you know, the Hermit card in this deck, you know, so yeah, Hermit time. Hermit time. Wow. Hermit time. Okay. So guys, just so you know, I've had no coffee. I have no makeup on. This is it. This is it. Okay? So just just bear with me, okay? So yeah, hermit mode happening here, okay? Trying to disconnect from these situations that they don't want to be in. This is both twins right now. This is definitely both twins right now. Okay. Wow, just saw 444. I can't today. I can't. Okay. So, feeling like they need to disconnect. really not wanting to deal with their crap at this point. And I feel like that's definitely more Divine Masculine right now. Divine Feminine is doing it mainly to reevaluate what she needs to do going forward. But there could be a little bit of the escapism happening too, okay? Because both twins feeling incredibly insecure here. It's like Divine Feminine's feeling insecure because, you know, doubt is creeping in. You know, she's questioning herself, she's questioning her journey, she's questioning her twin, she's questioning the connection, that sort of thing. Divine Masculine's just questioning everything. He's just like, I have no idea what the heck is happening here. Like, he just doesn't. He's just, I don't know what to do. You know, he's confused, he's frustrated, he's in denial, he's not in denial. It's just like this crazy back and forth energy with both twins. It's both twins. It's just manifesting differently, which I find interesting. So Divine Masculine, yeah, it's like a lot of them are just, again, having a really hard time digesting the truth and speaking their truth at this point. It's like they really do know the truth. They're just having a hard time actually moving forward with it. Does that make sense? You know, because they are getting these downloads from source. You know, they're being forced to face their shadow selves, right? And they're being forced to cut away things in their life, but it's like they're just taking it, it's like they're fighting it every step of the way. It's like they'll make a little bit of progress and then they'll fight it, and then they'll make a little bit of progress and then they'll fight it, right? But I do feel a lot of them definitely wanting to come forward and speak the truth. Now, this may not be necessarily to Divine Feminine. There may be, you know, some things in their life that they want to address, you know, and they're in their heads about it. It's like they're wanting to move forward, right? They really, really are. In fact, a lot of them just want to get out of these situations. It's like they don't want to see how to get out of the situations, and it's skipping. Hang on. Okay. They want to get out of situations, they just don't know how to. Like, they can't see how to get out of them. Or they don't want to see how to get out of them. They don't want to actually take the steps to get out of the situations. They just want out of the situation. Does that make sense? And because, again, they want this, and where they are is not giving them this, right? They have to 8 of Cups, something that they're holding on to in order to get here, right? So, and it seems incredibly daunting at this point. Some of them, it does feel incredibly daunting. They don't really know which way to go. They feel, they feel really pulled in 2 different directions, literally. It's like the world is just getting pulled right out from under them, right? And, you know, the information that they're getting, all the signs and everything they're getting, you know, it's kind of bombarding them. Some of them don't even know what it means. They just know they're seeing things, and they're just like, I don't know what's happening. So, yeah, they just feel, you know, being pulled, right? And they're just afraid to make that decision at this point. It's almost like they're just suspended. Like, they're just waiting there, right? They're trying to balance it out. They're trying to figure out what they need to do. Libra energy coming in here. But yeah, I mean, it's like they're trying to balance out, they're trying to weigh out what's the truth and what's not the truth. Right? They know it's the truth. They really do. They know it's the truth, but it's like their intellectual side's coming in, that 3D side's coming in, and the ego and everything like that. And just like, no, you're crazy. This is not legit. You are, you know, whatever. So, like, all those doubts coming in, and they're trying to balance it out. They're trying to balance out the energies, and, like, they're going back and forth between feminine and masculine energy, right? Right? So it's almost like Divine Masculine's kind of going into feminine energy right now. Divine Feminine's still in masculine energy. And again, it kind of switches back and forth. It just does that, right? It goes back and forth till you figure out how to balance it out. Right? So you may be feeling a little bit emotional today. A Divine Feminine could be coming from your Divine Masculine, because as you know, Divine Masculine, they don't really express emotions that much, so you might be feeling, something like this. So that may be where that purging is coming from. If you're feeling like super, super emotional today, try to keep it balanced out, try to keep it, under control as much as you can. and send back positivity. Alright, so let's take a look at Divine Feminine today. Haha! Yes. Moon. So yes. Illusions being shattered. Deceptions being... So, and I know it's dark. I'm so sorry, guys. But yeah, if you could see, there's like 2 wolves here, right? And lady right in the middle, and then the moon here. And each wolf is like, you know, it's like they're receiving downloads in their head chakra here, right? So I find that really interesting. So it's like, yeah, coming out of the darkness into the light. So, or being forced to face your shadow self. So yeah, a lot of illusions definitely being shattered here. A lot of foundations being broken. You're probably seeing through a lot of deceptions here lately. And I do feel, you know, there was a little bit of this with Divine Feminine, almost like a refusal to see one's shadow self, you know, as it was presented to you, right? But now understanding that this needs to be faced in order to move forward, right? In order to move forward, you need to kind of break out of whatever it is that you were refusing to see, either about yourself, or about your twin, or both. Because be honest, you know, if you see it in your twin, it's probably in you somewhere, because you mirror all the time, right? So learning how to see through that, to get through that, you know, and see the truth, honestly, and see the truth about oneself, you know, and not feeling heartbroken about that truth. I mean, it is what it is, and you learn to deal with it, and you move on, right? And so, you know, I think it's interesting that we're, you know, once you kind of see the truth about yourself, honestly, it's almost like the heartaches really go away, because you start to understand certain situations that you're in, really just in general, are kind of your own fault, right? Which at first can be can be heartbreaking. Yeah, because you're like, oh no, I got myself into this, right? I have to get myself out. Oh no. But at the same time, it's kind of freeing, because you're like, okay, well, if I got myself into this, I can get myself out. So it kind of goes both ways, right? So I do feel, you know, a lot of Divine Feminines are kind of like in this space where they're realizing they've been kind of in the ego, they've been judging their Divine Masculines, and now they're just like, oh, yeah, there's something I've got to do. Right? So I find that interesting. So returning to one's own truth here, you know, and standing in it, and being proud of the truth, and moving forward in the truth, and understanding that you pretty much control your own destiny at this point, right? So all those things making you feel burdened, all of those triggers making you feel burdened. Why are you feeling burdened? Why are you feeling burdened? Okay? Return to your own truth and understand that if you got yourself into it, you can get yourself out. Same with Divine Masculine. You cannot fix it for Divine Masculine. No, you cannot. You cannot. He got himself into this situation. He's going to have to get himself out. And you know what? He's realizing that. I think he's realizing that. And, you know, Divine Feminine, if you haven't realized it yet, you should by now. Okay? So let's get some messages for the twins. I'm sorry, from the counterparts today. Connection really strong today too, guys. And Divine Feminine, you're probably feeling that. Transformations. A lot of towers, guys. Be patient. Could be work, it could be drugs, it could be whatever. Escapist tactics, right? Tactics. Yeah, tell ya. For my coffee? Tráeme mi coffee. I don't do it. I can't do it without coffee. So some advice moving forward. Yeah, sexual energy very high today, guys. Just keep that in mind. Again, you know, this is a lot of times how Divine Masculine deals with dark night of the soul. Okay, so just deal with it. You know, try not to let it distract you. Just understand what it is. If you feel like you need to cut off that energy, you do what you need to do, okay? Some of you are definitely stepping back. Just make sure you're stepping back for the right reasons, okay? You know, it may be time to just let go and focus on yourself, but also at the same time, letting go to the journey, right? You want to surrender. Are you fully surrendered? Most of us are not, right? 5D communication, very, very strong. Pay attention to your dreams. There's messages in there, guys. There's messages in your dreams. Your Divine Masculine's coming to you, or your Divine Feminine, in this, whichever case you're in, is coming to you in dreams, you know, talking to you, giving you information. Spirit's also giving you information in dreams, too. Okay? So make sure you're paying attention to that, guys. And remember, point of the journey, self-love. Okay? Self-love. 1616, what the, okay, so you love yourself, you love your twin. I mean, if you think about it that way, it's actually a lot easier, right? Just make sure that you're very, that you're speaking your truth, right? You're speaking your truth, you're understanding your truth, and try not to deflect. Like, if something's happening in your life, evaluate why it's happening. Okay? And I'm not saying everything, absolutely not. Not everything is quote unquote your fault. That is not what I'm saying here, okay? Because obviously if you're in an abusive relationship, sure, you may have gotten yourself into that, but it's not your fault you're being abused. So don't blame yourself for that. That is not what I'm saying, okay? Just make sure that you're taking a look at the situation and being like, okay, what do I need to do moving forward? Actually learn to see the truth of the situation and don't blind yourself to the truth, okay? So it could go both ways. So like, don't blind 1717. So if you're in like that kind of situation, obviously you don't want to blind yourself. You want to sit there and blame yourself. That's blinding yourself to the truth, right? But at the same time, if you know you're in a situation that you got yourself into, you don't want to blame someone else for it. So it can go both ways, right? So just make sure you're standing in your truth and you're actually acting out of truth in that situation. Does that make sense? Right? So, but just keep in mind, I mean, whatever situation you're in, you're going to get through it, and you're always going to be strong on the other side. Like, you know, every tower you hit, every trigger you hit makes you stronger, right? It makes you stronger. It gives you confidence. It makes you feel good about yourself. Just make sure that ego doesn't take over, right? Make sure you're doing things out of love, not ego, not toxicity, right? And yeah, I mean, try not to, I know it's hard, just try not to get too involved or too focused on the connection that you lose sight of everything else. And I know this is a temptation, definitely. Okay, we've already kind of talked about a return to focus and making sure that we're focusing on the right thing and all that. So just make sure, you guys, that you're doing things out of love, you're doing things out of integrity. You're not doing something just to get a reaction out of your twin. I think that's the main message today. And again, I found that so interesting because, yeah, because Charlotte had mentioned it on a video of hers yesterday, so that's really cool. Alright, so I'm going to go get some coffee, and I'm going to go get ready to go to work. So I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. I hope this has resonated. If it has, please like, share, subscribe, and I guess I'll see you guys later. Bye.